Am I using my time wisely? Most of the time, I use my time with some purpose, but I still waste more time than I would like on my phone and random browsing. I am trying to move gradually towards a more structured day instead of expecting a perfect routine overnight. Am I taking anything for granted? I often take my health, my parents' support, and access to education for granted. When I compare my situation with other people with fewer opportunities, I realize I complain more than I should. Am I employing a healthy perspective? Not always. Small setbacks sometimes feel bigger than they really are. I am slowly learning to zoom out, see the long term, and remember that one exam or one day does not define my life. Am I living true to myself? In some areas, yes, like my academic interest and my curiosity. But in other areas, I still try to meet others' expectations too much. I want to reduce this gap by trying to align my choices more with my perspective rather than others' judgments. Am I waking up in the morning ready to take on the day? On good days, I wake up with a sense of purpose, especially when I have clear tasks. On other days, I feel dull and need some time, but having a small morning routine is helping me become more consistent. Am I thinking negative thoughts before I fall asleep? Quite often, my mind goes to unfinished works, regrets, or worries about the future at night. I need to replace this habit with something calmer like reading literature before going to sleep. Am I putting enough efforts into my relationship? I put efforts, but it is uneven. During busy periods, I become less responsive and distant. I would like to be more intentional about staying in touch and show appreciation to people who actually support me. Am I taking care of myself physically? I am doing the basics, but not consistently. My sleep, exercise, and diet still fluctuate with exams and deadlines. There is a clear scope to improve by keeping at least a minimum standards even during stressful weeks. Am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? Yes, I do overthink results, other people's opinions, and future uncertainties that I cannot fully control. I'm working on focusing more on myself and efforts that I make, and not thinking much about matters that are genuinely not in my hands. Am I achieving the goals I've set for myself? I achieve some goals, but not all. Long-term goals progress slowly, while short-term goals are easier. This shows that I can be disciplined, but I need better planning and follow-through to connect my daily actions to my bigger aim. Who am I really? I am someone who is trying to grow, learn, and make a meaningful life. Even though I am still figuring out many things about myself, I am a mix of strength and flaws, discipline and procrastination, confidence and insecurity, all evolving with time. What worries me most about the future? I worry about not reaching my full potential and disappointing myself or my family. I also fear ending up in a life where I am busy but not truly fulfilled or aligned with my values. If this were the last day of my life, would I have the same plans for today? Probably not. I would spend more time with the people I love and less time stressing about work. This shows that while work is important to me, relationships and experiences matter even more. What am I really scared of? I am scared of failure that feels permanent and of being judged as not good enough. I also fear wasting time on things that don't matter and realizing too late that I've lived more in fear and less in courage. Am I holding on to something that I need to let go of? Yes, I still hold on to past mistakes, comparison with others, and some old expectations about how fast I should succeed. Letting go of these would free up energy to focus on what I can actually accomplish in the present. If not now, then when? Delaying important changes rarely makes them easier, so later often becomes an excuse. If something truly matters for my growth, the right time is usually to start with a small step today itself. What matters most in my life? What matters most is becoming a responsible, kind, and capable person while maintaining meaningful relationships. Growth, health, family, genuine friendships, and inner peace are more important than external achievements. What am I doing about things that matter most in my life? I am studying, trying to improve my skills, and staying connected to close people, but not always consistently. There is still a gap between what I say is important and how I actually spend all my time. Why do I matter? I matter because my actions, my work, and presence can influence the life of people around me. Even in small ways, my life is a unique combination of experiences and potential that no one else can replicate. Have I done anything lately that is worth remembering? Yes, I have taken some steps outside my comfort zone, helped a few people in small ways, and worked seriously towards my goals. These may not be big achievements, but they are meaningful to me and show progress. Have I made someone smile today? On most days, I at least make someone smile through a small joke, a message, or a simple help. It reminds me that small, everyday gestures matters more than I usually realize. What have I given up on? I have partly given up on the idea of everything being perfect and happening exactly according to my planning and original timeline. However, I am trying not to give up on core dreams, just adjusting how I approach them. When did I last push the boundaries of my comfort zone? Recently, I pushed my comfort zone by taking on responsibilities or tasks that felt intimidating at first, like being the negotiator of my team in the communication skill projects. Every time I do this, my boundaries expand and I become better. If I had to instill one piece of advice in a newborn baby, what advice would I give? I would say be kind to yourself and others, and do not let fear of judgment stop you from trying. Effort, honesty, and compassion will carry you further than perfectionism. How will I live knowing I will die? Knowing life is limited, I want to balance responsibility with actually living, learning, serving, and laughing, and experiencing things fully. It reminds me not to postpone everything important to some imaginary later. What do I need to change about myself? I need to work on my consistency, emotional control, and tendency to overthink. Becoming more disciplined and calm would help me relieve of any unnecessary stress and work to the best of my abilities. Is it more important to love or to be loved? Both matters, but loving feels more within my control and gives a deeper sense of meaning. Being loved is beautiful, but it becomes richer when I am also capable of loving others genuinely. How many of my friends would I trust with my life? Only a very small number, maybe one or two people, truly feel trustworthy at that level. This makes me value depth of a friendship over having a larger circle. Who has had the greatest impact on my life? My parents and a few of my mentors have had the greatest impact on my life. They shaped the way I approach my goals. Their belief in me was often stronger than my belief in myself, which pushed me to be better. Would I break the law to save a loved one? In a truly life-threatening situation, I would probably prioritize saving a loved one, even if that meant breaking certain rules. It is not as simple a question, but emotionally, my instinct would be to protect them first. Would I steal to feed a starving child? In an extreme situation where there is absolutely no other option, I will likely choose feeding the starving child over strictly following rules. Ideally, society should not force such a choice, but morally, saving a life feels more important. What do I want most in my life? I want a balanced life where I feel proud of my work, at peace with myself, and connected to people I care about. Achievements are also important, but I do not want to lose my mental health or relationships in the process. What is life asking of me? Life seems to be asking me to grow up mentally, take responsibility, and use my abilities to contribute something meaningful to society. It is also asking me to learn patience, resilience, and gratitude instead of only chasing results. Which is worse, failing or never trying? Never trying is worse because it keeps me stuck with regret and what if. Failure at least gives me lessons, experiences, and sometimes unexpected new directions. If I try to fail and succeed, what have I done? It becomes a kind of paradox and shows that intentions and outcomes can be very different. It also reminds me that success and failure depends a lot on how I define them. What is the one thing I'd like others to remember about me at the end of my life? I would like people to remember that I was sincere, kind, and tried to help others in whatever way I could. Being remembered as a good human being matters more to me than just being seen as successful. Does it really matter what others think about me? To some extent, it matters because reputation and feedback affect opportunities and relationships. But beyond a point, living for only others' opinions becomes a trap, so I need to care more about my own values and concise. To what degree have I actually controlled the course of my life? I have made important choices about how hard I work and what I pursue, but many circumstances were not in my control. My role is to act responsibly within whatever life gives me instead of believing I control everything. When all is said and done, will I have said more than I have done? I might have talked more than acted in some areas, like self improvement plans or big future goals. This is a reminder to reduce the gap between my words and my actions and let my efforts speak more than my promises. My favorite way to spend the day is My favorite day is simple, some focused work on study, some time to learn something new, light exercise, and unhurried time with people I care about. I feel happiest when a day has both productivity and relaxation, not just one extreme. If I could talk to my teenage self, the one thing that I would say stop comparing yourself constantly. Be patient with your growth and don't underestimate the small consistent efforts. Many things that feel huge now will make sense later. So focus more on learning on rather than impressing others. The two moments I'll never forget in my life are one is a moment where I achieved something I had worked hard for. It showed me that effort is worth. Another is a time when I felt completely supported during a difficult phase, which reminded me how important genuine people are. Make a list of 30 things that make you smile. Family conversations, close friends, good food, finishing a tough task, music, a funny video, learning something new, helping someone clean a room, evening walks, good grades, holiday, childhood memories, watching the rain, peaceful morning, a good book, memes, inside jokes, sports, nostalgic songs, festivals, late night talks, unexpected appreciation, seeing others succeed, small gifts, quiet alone time, sunset, good health, personal growth, and seeing my plans actually work. What about a moment experienced through your body? There are times during physical exertion or intense focus when my breathing gets deeper, my heartbeat gets stronger, and my senses become sharper. In those moments, my body feels fully present and I notice details like temperature, sound, and the tension or relaxation in my muscles. The words I'd like to live by are the words I like to live by are honesty, consistency, kindness, and courage. If I can stay close to these, I feel my life will move in a direction I can be proud of. I couldn't imagine living without. I couldn't imagine living without the emotional support of my family and a few close friends. I also rely deeply on my ability to learn and adapt, which gives me hope in uncertain times. When I'm in pain, physical or emotional, the kindest thing I can do is slow down, acknowledge what I am feeling, and give myself rest without guilt. Reaching out to someone I trust or doing one small soothing activity also helps prevent more than pretending everything is fine. What does unconditional love look like to you? Unconditional love looks like being accepted even when I'm not at my best, with honest feedback but without abandonment. It means someone stands by me through good and through bad, and I also try to offer the same in return.